and you get to love it.
Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
We are the Markout Movie Podcasters, and today we are doing versus mode, and it's versing two people that I didn't think, Brandon, that we would ever see in competition against each other, Charles Bronson and Bruce Willis.
Correct.
Bruno. So, I'm excited about this. We both watched Death Wish this week. The first one from 1974, and then this latter one from, was it
2018?
2018.
Yes, sir.
I felt like it was longer. Felt like it was further back. I mean, you know what I mean? Not longer in length, but further back in like when it was made. But
what?
I didn't feel like it came out in 2018. I thought it was like 2017 to 2016.
Well, that's pretty close, Aaron. I mean, you know.
Not close enough.
I don't know when it came out. I don't know when it was shot. I know when it came out. Just don't know when it was shot.
It's probably shot 2017.
Probably.
I'll go out on a limb and say 2017. But it was either way. It was fun altogether, both of them. So let's dive into. Do you have any movie news before we dive into anything?
I didn't.
All right. So no movie news. We're gonna dive right into versus mode. So here we are. Let's deal with first the 1974 version of it with Charles Bronson. Once a mild-mannered liberal New York City architect Paul Kersey, Charles Bronson, snaps when intruders break into his home, murdering his wife and violently raping his daughter. A business trip to Tucson, Arizona, lands him a gift from a client, a revolver he uses to patrol the streets. When he returns home, frustrated that the police cannot find the intruders, he becomes a vigilante, gunning down any criminal that crosses his path. The public finds this vigilantism heroic. I butchered that word. Brandon, hit me with the numbers, bro.
I'm going to hit you with some numbers. Okay, this movie was on a $3 million budget. It made $22 million. So that is great. That's why I got sequels. It had a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, 2 out of 5 on Common Sense Media. Get out of here, Common Sense. 88% like this on Google. So that's good, right, Aaron?
That is absolutely good, yeah.
All right. Rotten Tomato. The tomato meter gives it a 67%. And the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes is 68%. Good. Okay. There we go. There's the numbers.
Those are the numbers. And let's go ahead and hit up the stellar cast, if you will, my friend. Let's go ahead and hit it up with some cast members. So we have the legendary Charles Bronson as Paul Kersey. We have Hope Lang as Joanna Kersey. Vincent Gardenia as Frank Okoa. Stephen Keats as Jack Toby. There's a lot of people in this movie. But one person I want to mention, freak number one, Brandon. Freak number one, Jeff freaking Goldblum, man.
Yes.
I was like, I noticed that. I'm like, hey, that's Jeff Goldblum. And then like, I never thought in a million years, other than The Fly, that I would see the butt of Jeff Goldblum. But yeah, he shows us his butt. When he's kind of he's raping a girl. Yeah,
he's raping, showing the butt, and yeah.
I wonder how he feels about this movie. If it's like, is this one of those, like, you know how a lot of people that started in horror, like Matthew McConaughey and stuff, it's like, yeah, let's not talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation. I wonder if he is that way with this movie. If he's like,
well, Matthew's more open to it now, but back in the day, yeah, he was like, let's not talk about it. That didn't happen. I'm sure Jeff is Jeff seems like a good dude, like humble beginnings. I'm pretty sure he's like, well, I worked with Charles Bronson, kinda.
I mean, yeah.
Never really did, but I was in a Charles Bronson movie. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah. I mean, and he was in. I would argue and say that he was in the definitive Charles Bronson movie. This
Yeah.
would be Bronson's. This is what Die Hard is to Bruce, is what Death Wish is to Bronson.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh,
from what I've seen, I agree.
yeah. Now I haven't seen the other. I haven't seen 2, 3, and 4. It's like 5 of them. I
Five,
think.
yeah. Yeah.
Now we will have to look at those. Maybe Action Junkies. We'll have to, you know, just look at the whole series and go over it and see what we think about it. But I want to mention one person that's in this movie that people don't even realize is in this film. Now the trivia, I was watching it on Amazon, as you were, I believe, and there's trivia that popped up. You know, one of the in the alley scene where one of the people was like beating up the guy, and then like one of the kids like came up to Bronson. One of those kids may have been a very young Denzel Washington in this movie. Yeah, one of the little street punks that they shoots is Denzel Washington.
Did not know that. Didn't notice that. Wow.
Yeah.
Humble beginnings again.
It is very humble beginnings, but you know, it's pretty cool if it is a young like 15, 16-year-old Denzel getting to start in a movie, you know, playing a street thug. You know, nobody would think, oh well, you know, this kid right here, this is street thug, is gonna go on to be an Academy Award winning actor, Denzel Washington. You know, and so you know,
just like no one thought Jeff Goldblum was gonna go and sprinkle water on what's her name's arm in Jurassic Park. You know when he sprinkles that water.
I don't remember him sprinkling the water.
Yeah, he was sprinkling water on there.
I thought you were gonna talk about his iconic. Yeah, I know that. Okay, I thought you was gonna talk about his gotta go faster. You know, being in the back of the van, the Jeep. You know, and the T-Rex is coming up on him in the mirror, like this, and he's like, must go faster. You know, that's what I think about. I love it. I love Jurassic Park. So hey, it's a soft spot in my heart. But yeah, nobody knew that Jeff Goldblum, who you know, forced fellatio on a woman in this movie, will go on to be Jeff Goldblum of The Fly, Jeff Goldblum of Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum of Transylvania Transylvania 65000. Also, that was an early Goldblum movie. But yeah.
Is he in Earth Girls Are Easy?
Yeah, he is, with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, thought so.
As James Carrey, and I think Damon Wayans as well. So all three of those guys end up having a very successful career.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Gina Davis is in it too, who was, I think, connected to Jeff at that time. I think they was dating. So
they were in the Fly together, right? Yeah.
That's right.
I have never seen that movie all the way through, but I have seen bits and pieces of it. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say another person that was in this movie that I wanted to mention, Helen Martin. She is known for being in 227. She played like the mother, the grandmother relief figure in 227. But she became even more famous later on in life when she played in Don't Be a Menace to South Central or Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. She was the weed smoking grandmama in that movie. And she was like she became that, like she started being in a lot of movies doing that type of character. Before she passed away. She died in 2000. So, but yeah, she was in Don't Be a Menace. She's in Repo Man. She's also in Death Wish. She's in Kiss the Girls. So she's had a pretty nice film career. She's in I Got the Hookup as grandmother. Like I said, she started playing the same type of character. But yeah, I really enjoyed the detective, his little quirks. What did you think about him?
I thought he was really good. Yeah, he had some quirks about him, but I thought, you know, deep down, he didn't really want to catch the guy.
We want you to get out of New York. Permanently.
Because they were doing his job.
I think he had some issues. Like, I don't know if he had asthma or a code, but he always would have like something, a handkerchief.
Yeah.
He would always kind of have something that he is breathe in, or I don't know if it's an inhaler, a 74 type of version of an inhaler. I don't know what it was, but it seems like he had either some asthma or he had some type of code or something, and I didn't know what it was. But I found him as a very interesting character. Just it just like they don't make characters as fleshed out like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 They don't. Not anymore. They're usually one-dimensional side characters. But I liked him. I thought he brought something to the movie, to Paul Kersey's character as well, because he warns him towards the end of the movie.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna get into it yet, but yeah, I just thought he brought something different.
When you the first kill, who was the first kill? Do you remember?
He was standing on the, I want to say, the pier, just looking out in the water, I believe, or sky, and the guy tries to mug him, rob him,
Mhm.
and he just kind of turns around and shoots him before he can get mugged. Basically,
Yeah, the guy had a
it
gun
was
too.
self-defense. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it was self-defense.
It was, and and he responded to it. I think he went home and maybe threw up, or or he just kind of processed the fact that he just took a life.
Yeah,
But then it seemed as if he really looked forward to taking people's lives. He really it's like uh, he really looked forward to the kill. Like
he got a
Right.
taste of it, and he liked it. He's kind of became like a shark in that regards. You know me, I got to bring up a shark during
Hey,
Death
but
Wish.
good analogy though. Good analogy. Go ahead.
Yeah, he got a taste of it. He liked it, and I don't think he planned on becoming a vigilante, but he liked killing bad people, and the cops weren't doing anything about it. So why not? Was his mentality, I do believe. I I'm not saying what he did was right, but what he did do that night was right. I mean, he was gonna get mugged, possibly killed. You got to defend yourself.
And honestly, in reality, I guess we can argue that like what he did was self-defense that night, but then the other nights it would have been self-defense had you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
he would just happen to be in that he would go into those areas that would have those type of people there,
yeah,
but then when they respond to him and try to attack him or whatever in self-defense, he would shoot them.
yeah.
I
He
mean,
was.
just that's what he did. There's only one time where I felt that he really, really orchestrated what happened. Is the last one where he went to the diner and he's flashing the wads of money, you know, just to try to. It's like putting chum in the water to
Yeah,
get like get the shark to come. But yeah, it's just he flashed a little money. The next thing you know, 2 or 3 people seen it,
yeah,
but the 2 main dudes seen it, and they like went to jack him, to
yep.
rob him. But I don't know, just
Didn't work out for him though.
no. Well, I think that was the last one, so he killed 2, but let one of them survived. But I do think that with this movie, I felt that Charles Bronson was like I love that little scene where he's sitting in the bar and he's looking at the TV, the news, talking about like the vigilante,
Yeah,
and he kind of has a smile on his face, like pride about who he is, and I just felt like I felt that I fell in love with Charles Bronson even more right then because I'm like, man, that's good. Just it's subtle. He just sitting there, he smiles, and then he starts, like not really, he doesn't like if you didn't see that, you wouldn't notice it, but you notice that he has a smile on his face, like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I also got a little bit of Batman from him. Except Batman doesn't kill, but I felt like he was like the Cape Crusader of New York.
Mhm.
Because the cops couldn't do their job, so he was going to do it for them. I just felt a little bit of Batman in his character in that aspect. Except Batman doesn't kill, so I guess he'd be more Punisher, but not really, because Punisher looks for these things and he wants to kill as many people as possible. I don't feel like Paul Kersey was like looking to kill everyone. I think he saw something that was shady, he would interject himself into the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt a little Batman. He was, but the thing, and I think everyone probably would agree with this, is that he was taking all these guys down, but he was so upset that the cops weren't looking for his wife's killers, his daughter's rapist, but he never looked for him either. He didn't do his own investigation. I know a lot of people feel that way, and that is true, and that's what hurts the movie for me a little bit, just a little bit, because I don't think the narrative switched to him becoming a vigilante instead of finding those people. But I think if he would have found those people, I think it'd be a perfect movie.
Yeah, I think that I would agree with it, because that's the thing that I like the most about the remake is that you know, he started out the same way, man. He started out being just a vigilante, just killing any random person that he comes across. Some of them was more specific, like the kid said, "Hey, I was shot by this guy that calls himself the ice cream man or whatever," and so he goes in broad daylight and shoots the guy.
Yeah,
and like, which is very bold, to do that. But he does it, and but then eventually something leads him, like one of the guys that robbed his house, MJ, is coming into the emergency room, and he recognized his watch, he recognized the name and stuff, so he realized who it is, and that kind of starts him on this mission to track down, like, oh, let me regain my focus. This is about getting them.
There's aspects to the remake I really enjoyed the first two acts. I think it's when he was actually killing the people that killed his wife and hurt his daughter. It's just how he done it. I had an issue with, and that's not to do. It has nothing to do with Bruce Willis. It has to do with the filmmaker Eli Roth. Yeah. He brought too much gore, in my opinion, to this movie. It didn't need it. I mean, it's fine if you get bullets flying and blood splattering, but the way he had blood splattering was more like a horror movie than an action thriller. Do you disagree or agree with that?
No, I agree with you. Eli Roth, to me, has a tendency to start off really well in his movies, but he just doesn't know how to finish his films. That's just my own personal, and I say this after seeing several Eli Roth movies. Cabin Fever, he starts off well, but he doesn't know how to end it well. Green Inferno, started off well, but didn't know how to end it well. And then in this movie, started well, but didn't know how to end it well. I just don't believe that. I honestly don't believe he knows how to finish his films. And I apologize to Mr. Roth. He's successful, but
he is.
It's just like the third act in this movie, in the 2018 version, felt like, yeah, you're right. It felt more like a horror movie, and it felt over the top. Like the guy that gets shot and he falls off the staircase and he breaks his neck. It's just like, it was just too gruesome. And then or the dude, or he makes the car fall on top of the guy and kills him.
Also, Bruce started using one-liners in that last act. He became Bruce Willis.
He likes to turn into McClane.
Yeah, he just became Bruce Willis. He wasn't Paul Kersey in that last act. He was Bruce, and I don't have a problem with that, because it's good to see Bruce, especially if he's trying, and he was definitely trying in this movie. This is his best performance, I say, probably since Looper.
While we're discussing it, let's
Okay.
go ahead and hop into Death Wish 2018, and then we'll come back with our marks and everything, and who wins the versus mode.
All right.
All right. So Death Wish 2018. You go ahead and read the synopsis. Do you have it in front of you somewhere?
Yeah, I got it. Dr. Paul Kersey is a surgeon who often sees the consequences of the city's violence in the emergency room. When home intruders brutally attack his wife and young daughter, Kersey becomes obsessed with delivering vigilante justice for the perpetrators. As the anonymous slayings grab the media's attention, the public begins to wonder if the deadly avenger is a guardian angel or the Grim Reaper himself.
How much did it make? Do you have that?
It made $49.6 million on a $30 million budget. I think that's including overseas as well.
Okay. The numbers: 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 31% on Metacritic, 87% of Google users like this movie. It's the highest number this movie is ever going to get. Because on Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, critics gives it 18%, but fans gave it 72%. So the audience liked it a little bit more than the critics.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. Now I want before I jump into the 2018, at the end of the 1974 version, so he gets shot, and he gets shot in the leg. He loses blood, I guess, and he passes out, and then he wakes up in the hospital, and the detective hunts him down and says, "Hey, man, tell you what, we didn't catch you, but we're gonna need you to leave town, get out of New York, and never come back. You know, you work for this company, find another job, a different office. They have an office all over the place. Transfer somewhere." He ends up transferring to Chicago, and and in Chicago, when he's at the airport, he notices that somebody grabs some luggage or whatever, and he snatches the woman's purse.
Yeah.
And then he looks at the guy, and he just looks, and he's shoots at him.
Yep.
And that was just it just pure Charles Bronson, yeah. And I can't wait to see Death Wish 2, 3, 4, and 5 just to kind of see where the story goes. But that's how that ended in Chicago. This one actually takes place in Chicago.
Yeah.
Let's go into it, Brandon. What do you think?
Yeah, it takes place in Chicago because it's the #1 crime rate in the world. Well, in the U.S. And the reason it took place in New York in the original film, because that was the #1 crime rate in the U.S. in 1974. So that's why it takes place there. But yeah, like we said, I mean, it's the bad thing about this is it's on Paul Kersey's birthday when they kill his wife and attack his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And he's working. He was supposed to go with them to dinner, and he got called in to do surgery. So poor circumstances. But yeah, as you said earlier, the MJ character, he took a screenshot of their address when they were getting their vehicle.
Yeah, he's like a valet.
Yeah. So
also real quick, his brother in this movie, Frank Kersey, is Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yes.
The tremendous actor Vincent D'Onofrio, who is underrated. He says, Frank says to the MJ, he just says it nonchalantly. Hey, this guy is the guy with all the money, because he's I guess the guy was looking for his tip or whatever. He said, no, he's the guy with all the money, and so he kind of looks over at Bruce's character, and when he goes to get the keys, and then hears them talk about, hey, his wife Elizabeth Shue, Lucy Kersey, love Elizabeth Shue. She tells Frank, don't forget over at this restaurant. We're gonna be meeting there at this time of night,
Yeah.
tomorrow night or whatever. And so the guy knows, okay, they won't be home at that point. And they took the screenshot, and I guess it's when they plan on burglarizing the house.
Yeah.
But I want to bring this up real quick, my man. I marked out when I thought about Vincent D'Onofrio and Elizabeth Shue being in the same movie together. They were in Adventures in Babysitting together, like what 1980 something, and it is so
86, I think.
yeah, it is so good just to see them two in a movie together. Again, they might have been in more stuff together, but just when it dawned on me, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is Chris and this is Thor in the movie together. You know, because that's who he played. He played the guy that owned the garage.
Yeah.
But the little sister thinks it's Thor because he's buff. But
What happened to Vincent?
well, he gained weight. All right, so the same year that he did Adventures of Babysitting, I think the same year he did Full Metal Jacket, and so I think that he gained weight for Full Metal Jacket, and I don't think he just never put it off.
No, he looked. He was in shape for that one movie with Jennifer Lopez.
That was in 1999.
Yeah. After that, though, he blew up, and which I think he looks. I prefer this look for him. I don't know why, but I do. I think it just fits him better.
He's tremendous as Kingpin in Daredevil. Oh my gosh, he was my favorite villain in a long time. Like because he has such like Jeff Goldblum. He has charisma. He has such charisma about himself that you want to see more of him on the screen. And when you don't see him on the screen, you kind of feel like, oh, I can't wait to see him again. You know.
I love him in Jurassic World. The Escape Plan he did with Arnold and Stallone. He was great in that. He's a great character actor. Yeah, I agree with you. He's very underrated. And when he popped up in this movie, I was like, this is going to be entertaining. I also like the brother relationship with Vincent and Bruce. Because at first you felt like Vincent, Frank Kersey, was almost like he leached off of Paul. He wanted money all the time, and I love when he comes back to see him. He wanted to repay him and take him out, and Paul thought he wanted more money. I love that scene, which obviously Frank got upset about because he thought he only comes to him when he needs money.
Let's talk now. So, all right, for the first one, 1974. Let's give our markouts for this. So, what is your markouts for 1974?
My markouts is 4.5 out of 5. I'm going to stick with that. I've seen it twice. I like it better the second time around. I feel like it was a better, I feel like it was a really good movie, especially for its time period. I feel like it still holds up today, even though the world's changed quite a bit. But I still feel it's an entertaining movie. And that's the thing I always get concerned about watching a movie in the 70s, before the 80s, can it still entertain me? Because it's we live in a different world now than we did back then. So, but still, I feel like it's still a strong movie. So I'm giving it 4.5.
All right, so Letterboxd, I gave it 5. I think I did. I'm going to give this 4.5 as well. The only reason why I'm going to bring it down from 5 to 4.5 is I love the whole movie. I love Charles Bronson. I thought he was magical in it, and I just enjoyed that. I give it that because I was not as satisfied because I wanted him to get even with the people that murdered his wife and raped his daughter, and so. I don't know if in the sequels, if they ever do, I'm pretty sure it's never going to be Jeff Goldblum, but I would say Jeff's career probably kind of picked up a little bit after this, but I felt like I felt let down because of that, but not as let down as I didn't, because now I'm going to go back and watch 2, 3, 4, and 5 because I really enjoyed the first one. So
I agree with you. 100%.
All right.
So what's your markouts for the remake?
2018. All right. So for that one, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I'm get 3.5. So out of 5 markouts, because I do that because I love Bruce in it. I love Vincent in it. I love the whole cast that's in this movie, and I love the story that it tells and how fast paced and stuff it is with it. But the ending felt to me a little rushed and a little flat and unbelievable.
He has spoken, ladies and gentlemen. He has spoken. 3.5. My that's my markouts as well. 3.5. I liked it. As you said, I love Bruce in it. I love Vincent. I love the cast, as you said. I love the first 2 acts, but it falls apart for me in that last act, and I blame Eli Roth on that simply because he kind of made it a little bit of a gore fest.
Versus mode. Who wins the battle, Brandon?
I think Charles Bronson wins this battle. You can't beat a true classic. You just can't.
I agree. You cannot beat a true classic. I agree with you. The winner of this versus mode is Charles Bronson, 1974, Death Wish. It is a classic. It's the one that started it. And, if it tells you anything, that one spun 4 sequels.
Yeah. Just like Dirty Harry.
Spun no sequels.
It probably won't get one. No, it didn't make enough money.
That's all I got to say about Death Wish. Both of them. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the first one more.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else you want to say, or you want to let them know what we're doing next week?
Next week, I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not. Nope.
You're not going to pull Aaron?
No. Next week, my pick is going to be Cop Car. I think I got that right. Cop Car. Kevin Bacon. It's on Netflix.
I can't wait to see it. Never seen it, so it will be brand new for me. And then the week after that, it will be my pick. And I think we're going to go lighthearted. I'll probably try to grab something off of Disney Plus to do. Yeah. I'm going to bring us to, I don't know, something light. And then probably after that, Brandon will come with maybe a horror selection. We'll see. We had
he's
horror
pushing that horror section on me.
we ain't had it in a while, Brandon. We need it. All right. Well, this is Aaron Whitlow.
I'm Brandon Spivak.
And thank you for marking out with us at the Markout Movie Podcast. Please, before Brandon stops this recording, make sure that you please go to our YouTube channel at Markout Movie Podcast. Also, like, subscribe, share. If you have anything that you want to suggest for us to review, Brandon, how can they find us?
Well, they can find us on Twitter at RevRock. What is it?
Rev A Rock. REVAROC. That's my Twitter handle.
And my Twitter handle, I believe, is Brandon's Creek. At Brandon's Creek. If not, just type in Brandon Spivak. You'll see a picture of me all being preppy or whatever. And my cover photo is the Markout Movie Podcast. So that'll tell you're in the right place.
All right.
But also,
go ahead.
Find us on Facebook at the Markout Movie Podcast.
Yep. And then also, if you can't find us there, we have another Twitter. I don't check it as often, though. It's the Markout Movie Pod. It's on Twitter. Also, Cinema Bruh on Stardust, and Letterbox Brandon Creek, and I am Rev A Rock on Letterbox. So yeah, just look for us. We're out there, and we'll love to hear from you. Honestly, we would.
Absolutely,
we'll do it. We'll review whatever.
Yeah.
Mainly if it's on a streaming service, because we have almost all of them.
Yes, but I don't know about Shudder. I just don't know.
He might get rid of Shudder. It sounds like he's getting rid of Shudder. But I don't know. Maybe find something good on Shudder that you like.
I'm trying.
What's next on Shudder for you? What do you have on the queue?
I don't have anything on the queue except for TV shows. I have like 5 of those. But I don't know. I may give that one you suggested.
Which one? We Are What We Are?
No, the one you told me I need to watch.
Oh,
Hell House or something
yeah,
like
Hell
that.
House LLC.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, that's good. Also, if you like little schlock type of movies, Humanoids from the Deep is a really funny horror movie about like creatures that is stealing women to make sex and babies with. Yeah, it's a Roger Corman movie. There you go. Brandon, Roger Corman. Come on, Roger Corman, Brandon. But
Oh no. What has just happened? Monster babies having what?
there is sex happening with
Monsters?
monsters. Yes, Brandon. Stick with me.
It is the quarantine. I mean, people need to have sex, I suppose.
All right, we're gonna end this right now. Brandon, you can cut it. All right. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you for marking out with us. This has been Aaron Whitlow, and I am Brandon Spivey, and we are
The Markout Movie Podcasters.